aliens! Ah, they're back again. Of course they are, because the universe is infinite, the night is dark and full of terrors, and over here at Top 5 Scary Videos, we're certainly not fearful about crossing our fantasy references with science fiction, because everyone's a winner here when it comes to alien lifeforms. The fact of the matter remains, though, that we've so far managed to traverse several cosmos worth of alien empires and machine hive minds lurking within isolated star systems, waiting for the next sentient civilization to emerge and then gobble them up. Science fiction has a responsibility to deliver us with terrifying alien entities, and boy, do they deliver. Let's take another look. Hello horror fans, what's going on? And once again, welcome back to the Scariest channel on YouTube, Top 5 Scary Videos. As per usual, I'll be your horror host, Jack Finch, as today we curiously take a look at the top 5 scariest fictional alien entities, part 3. Roll the clip.
Go ahead. Arrest me.
Not this time. For the curious amongst you, that scene was from Men in Black 3 that depicts one of the most awesomely underrated alien villains in a long time, Boris the Animal, played by the remarkably talented Jermaine Clement. Yeah, the film's not that great, but Boris the Animal is awesome. So yeah, he's our honourable alien for today's video. And just like with our previous parts of this list, we'll be doing things the difficult way, so no Xenomorph, no Yocha, and no Lovecraftian cosmic horrors. Anyway, on with the show. Kicking off at number 5, the Reavers, Firefly. And yes, the Reavers are finally here, and rightly so, because Joss Whedon created one of the most awesome science fiction series of the 21st century, and then it got canned, and everyone was really sad. And then we got Serenity as somewhat of a consolation prize, and everyone was really sad after that too. But I'll be honest with you, the reason that I was slightly reluctant to put the Reavers on this list is because they're not exactly alien, so to speak. They're space zombie cannibal pirates, but what the hell, they deserve to be here, so here they are. If you've ever seen Joss Whedon's 2002 series Firefly, which sadly only ran for 14 episodes, then you'll know just how impactful those 14 episodes were at detailing how truly horrific the Reavers are. For those that live in the core worlds, Reavers were a campfire tale and a bedtime story to scare naughty children into behaving, but for the people of the border worlds and colonies and the crew of Serenity, Reavers are very real. Although this next snippet of information is kind of spoilers, it doesn't detract in any way from the horrific nature of the Reavers. You see, the Reavers were accidentally created as part of a social experiment gone wrong. In the outermost planet in the solar system, a colony known as Miranda, the Alliance had been testing a behavioral modification chemical known as the Pax that was administered through the air recycling systems in the colony settlement. Uh-oh, that's the first no-no, because although the Pax was designed to weed out aggression and anger in the settlers, it instead turned them into mindless zombies that eventually just gave up the will to live. In some of them though, as in 0.1% of the population, it turned them into primal, aggressive, cannibalistic savages that reveled in madness, murderous rage, and sadism. Thus we have the Reavers, the most insanely grotesque space pirates that now roam the cosmos, ravaging and pillaging their way from settlement to settlement. What really sets the Reavers apart from the common run-of-the-mill villain though is the degree that these savages revel in pain and torment. They're the literal embodiment of the true evil that lies in the heart of humanity, and aliens aside, they're a mirror to our own selves. Swinging in at number 4, the Necromorphs, Dead Space. And if you've seen our recent Scariest Monsters in Video Games list, then you'll know that these guys look pretty familiar. That's not to say that they don't deserve to be on this list too though, because it's about high time that the Necromorphs got given their rightful placement as the scariest fictional alien entities, because they're absolutely damn terrifying. The Necromorphs, the titular horrific lifeforms that serve to be the main antagonists of the Dead Space series, are the living definition of science fiction colliding with horror and ripping out your throat before anyone in space can hear you scream. Yeah, and that's still a pretty fitting description. From a purely lore perspective, although these entities are incredibly similar to the Flood from the Halo series, the Xenomorph in some places, as well as John Carpenter's The Thing, their design is the epitome of innate, deep-seated biological terror. Please don't let me turn into a Necromorph, and if I do, I hope you've got a plasma cutter lying around to put me out my misery. These entities appear as mutated, reanimated corpses that are reshaped into horrifying new life forms by a recombinant extraterrestrial infection of whose origin is unknown, but is orchestrated by the mysterious markers, bizarre monoliths that float about the cosmos, heralding the dawn of the Necromorphs, that then usher in the creation of Brethren moons and then start the whole process over again. Yeah, it's complicated. The sole purpose behind these entities are for all Necromorphs to acquire more bodies to convert and spread the subsequent infection, which ultimately peaks in the creation of the Necromorph moon, as well as the end of all life in that given solar system, and then they just move on to the next one. Yeah, the most terrifying thing about the Necromorphs, obviously beside their terrifying appearance and propensity for ripping faces off, is the fact that their motivations are beyond human comprehension. Although they're mindless zombie aliens jellying themselves together, we're completely insignificant to them, and they may be the next step in evolution, and that's nightmare fuel. Next up at number 3, the Silence, Doctor Who. The Silence, wait, what was I talking about again? Oh yeah, these guys, these horrific, faceless, bulbous-headed, grey-skinned, black and white suit-wearing confessional priests. I mean, if we're talking technicalities, then the Silence themselves are an entire papal empire that span galaxies, and these horrific guys without mouths are merely their enforcers. But yeah, forgive the hodgepodgery, because for the most part they're one and the same, and we're in the business of being terrified by fictional alien entities, so yeah, let's not get too specific. If you know anything about Doctor Who, then you know how terrifying these guys first were when they appeared in The Impossible Astronaut during Matt Smith's tenure as the Doctor. The best Doctor, if you're asking me. Conceptually speaking, there was nothing quite like the psychological response to the introduction of the Silence, and the delivery of the horror behind them was second to none. It combined two very unlikely themes: amnesia and pens. But yeah, I say that tongue-in-cheek because if you haven't yet seen the Silence on screen, don't let my terrible joke water it down. The Silence are terrifying. Originally created by the Church of the Silence, an organisation formerly known as the Papal Mainframe, the Silent were confessional priests genetically engineered by the church to allow people to confess their sins without remembering doing so, down to the design of being forgotten the moment a victim looked away from them, which, guys, is an absolutely horrific concept on its own, but that's by the by. They appear as tall humanoids around 7 feet tall, with large bulbous heads and grey mouthless faces. And I'm not entirely sure which is worse, a faceless mouth or a mouthless face. Nevertheless, the Silence orchestrated their malevolent design by remaining hidden on Earth for hundreds of thousands of years since the early Stone Age. The fact that they were memory-proof essentially meant that they could enact their influence without humanity ever realising it. Yeah, the Silence guys, a lot of you guys call for them to be on this list, so here they are. And rightfully so, because they're terrifying. Wait, what was I saying again? Coming in at number 2, The Shadows, Babylon 5. What do you get when you cross a spider with a praying mantis and an ancient race that has developed an eternally evil mantra through hundreds of thousands of years of chaos and hatred? Yeah, you get the Shadows. Now we'll have to preface this point and make it very clear that although it's not for everyone, and I'm certainly not the font of knowledge when it comes to this topic, but Babylon 5 is one of the most developed and intricate depictions of high science fiction on TV. Honestly, the amount of depth and cosmic intrigue in this show is staggering, and it's a testament to how well developed the Shadows are, as well as the First Ones and the Firstborn, that really give a sense of scale to how cosmically insignificant humanity is in front of an alien race such as these guys. And put it this way, Shadows are just what humanity and the younger races of the universe have called them, because their real name is unknown, down to the fact that it's over 10,000 letters long and also completely unpronounceable by any other race. Yeah, science fiction, guys. The Shadows originated from the planet Zardoom, a volcanic planet of nuclear waste, where these alien monstrosities developed the belief that chaos is the only path to progression. In their words, chaos is the way to strength, chaos is the engine powering life, this spread of chaos is our triumph, and the greatest joy is the ecstasy of victory. I mean, that's a terrifying enough stance to build an entire civilization around, and we haven't even spoken about how technologically advanced these guys are yet. The Shadows employ an organic technology which allows them to pretty much use humanity as conduits to enact their wills as thralls in whichever way they deem fit, as seen with the tragic Morden, as well as Anna Sheridan and the old angered Justin. Yeah, in more ways than one, the Shadows are one of the most advanced alien races in the whole of science fiction, and the fact that they pursued a path of chaotic destruction says quite a lot about their character. And finally, coming in at a #1 spot, the Combine, Half-Life. Because if we're talking about advanced alien races, then throughout the whole of fiction, pretty much all of them pale in comparison to the undetermined cosmic sway of the Combine. Because the Combine Empire aren't just the de facto power in the universe of Half-Life, they're also the dominant force in a multitude of parallel universes. Yeah, these guys don't just take over planets, they take over realities, and still, their actual ultimate goal is a complete and utter mystery. Well, that's until until Half-Life 3 is finally released, because we all know it's going to be released, right? That's not to say that we don't have some smidgen of a design in place though, because from the events of Half-Life 2 we did learn a small sample of what the Combine Empire has set out to achieve, and that is to dominate and absorb the entire multiverse, not just the universe, and absorb it all into its interdimensional empire, which it willfully dubs the Universal Union. Why? Power, I guess. Also, if you guys haven't played any of the Half-Life series, I'd implore you to do so, but the fact of the matter is the Combine are kind of a big deal, and it'll be hard to avoid spoilers in detailing just exactly how they came to be. But put it this way, what we do know is the process that the Combine Empire employs in order to take over a planet. One of those processes is to create what is known as a suppression field around its target planet, as seen on Earth, that serves to completely inhibit human reproduction. The field prohibits the formation of certain protein chains that are vital to human embryonic development, effectively reducing the global birth rate to 0. So that means that any survivors, any form of resistance, they're the last generation to fight that fight. How utterly hopeless is that? And that is but a taste as to the extent that the Combine Empire goes to enact its will, all for the purpose of adding another planet and or reality to its pile. The most terrifying thing is that when you strip everything away, other life forms are just one big science experiment to the Combine. To them, we're just another page in a book. That's true horror. Well, there we have it, horror fans. Our list for the top 5 scariest fictional alien entities. Part 3. What do you guys think? Do you agree, disagree, have any more to add for this list? Then let us know your thoughts down in the comment section below, as well as any choice picks of your own. Before we depart from today's video, let's first take a quick look at some of your more creative comments from over the past few days. Tom Humphreys says, speaking about The Witcher, will you be watching the new Netflix series Jack? And yes, 100% yes. Hey, as soon as they announced that they weren't trying to replicate the video games and instead stay more to the books, I had a very, very good feeling. It's gonna be good. Also, Henry Cavill looks great. He looks great. On that note, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for in today's video. Just stick around all the way until the end. If you were a fan of this video or just top 5 scary videos in general, then please be a dear and hit that thumbs up button, as well as that subscribe button. And I'll be seeing you in the next one. As per usual, I've been your horror host, Jack Finch. You've been watching top 5 scary videos. Until next time, you better take it easy. Thank you.